The suitcase my sister was dragging was bigger than me. It was pink, hard shell, and filled with brand new bikinis, sundresses, and tanning lotion. "Bye, loser," Sarah yelled from the backseat of the Uber, rolling down the window just enough to stick her tongue out. "Don't burn the house down while we're eating lobster." My mother didn't even look back. She was too busy checking her reflection in the rearview mirror, making sure her vacation hat was sitting perfectly. My father gave me a quick, dismissive wave, the kind you give to a waiter you're done with, and then the car turned the corner and disappeared. Silence. I stood there in the driveway, feeling the drizzle start to soak into my oversized hoodie. They were gone. Hawaii, 4 weeks, a luxury resort in Maui with an ocean view suite. And me? I was left with a list of chores, taped to the fridge and $20 on the counter for emergencies. "Make sure you mow the lawn every Tuesday," my dad had said, not making eye contact. "And don't touch the thermostat. It stays at 78. Money doesn't grow on trees, Maya." "And don't eat all the food," my mom had added, snatching a bag of chips out of my hand to pack in her carry-on. "There are noodles in the pantry. Be grateful." Grateful, that was their favorite word. I should be grateful they let me live here. Grateful they let me go to public school instead of sending me to work in a factory. Grateful that I existed in the shadow of Sarah, the golden child, the star athlete, the prom queen, the girl who could do no wrong. I walked back inside. The house was quiet, too quiet. I went to the kitchen. On the counter sat the $20 bill. Next to it was the food they had left me for 30 days. 12 packs of instant ramen, a half-empty jar of peanut butter, a loaf of bread that expired in 2 days, and a bag of frozen peas. That was it. My stomach growled. I looked at the ramen. Chicken flavor. My least favorite. "It's fine," I whispered to the empty room. "I can handle this. I've been invisible for 16 years. What's 1 month?" But I was wrong. I wasn't just invisible. I was about to become something much more dangerous to them. Because what they didn't know, what they couldn't possibly know, was that the house they just left, the house they treated like their kingdom, it didn't belong to them. It belonged to me. By day 7, the bread was moldy. I ate the peanut butter with a spoon. By day 10, I was down to 1 pack of ramen a day. I was hungry, not "I skipped lunch" hungry. I mean the kind of hungry that makes your hands shake and your head pound. I tried to get a job, but nobody hires a 16-year-old without parental consent forms, and my parents were snorkeling in the Pacific. I tried to mow lawns, but our lawnmower broke the first time I used it, and I didn't have money to fix it. I texted my mom on day 12. "Mom, I'm out of food. Can you transfer like $50, please?" I waited. 3 hours later, I saw a photo pop up on Instagram. It was Mom and Sarah holding giant cocktails with umbrellas in them, laughing at a sunset luau. Caption: "Paradise with my favorite girls. Blessed." Then a text back: "Stop being dramatic, Maya. You have plenty. We are on a budget here. Do not ask again or you're grounded when we get back." A budget? They were staying at the Four Seasons. I sat on the kitchen floor and cried. Not because I was hungry, but because they genuinely didn't care if I starved. That night, a storm hit. It was a massive summer thunderstorm that shook the windows. I was huddled on the couch under a blanket when I heard a crash from the attic. Water started dripping from the ceiling. "Great," I muttered. "Just great." I grabbed a bucket and climbed the pull-down stairs to the attic. It was dusty and hot, smelling of old insulation. I found the leak, a small hole in the roof where a branch had hit. I put the bucket under it. As I turned to leave, my foot kicked something, a box. It wasn't one of the plastic Christmas decoration bins. It was an old wooden chest tucked way in the corner, covered in a heavy tarp. I had never seen it before. Curiosity won. I pulled the tarp off. On the top of the chest, painted in fading gold letters, was a name, Eleanor Vance. My grandmother, my dad's mom, she had died 3 years ago. I loved her. She was the only person who ever hugged me without looking at her watch. She used to sneak me candy when my mom said I was getting chubby. I opened the chest. Inside were photo albums, old jewelry, and a thick manila envelope sealed with red wax. I picked up the envelope. On the front, in Grandma's shaky handwriting, it said, "For Maya. Open when you're alone." My heart hammered against my ribs. I sat down on the dusty floorboards and tore it open. Inside were 3 documents. The first was a letter. "My dearest Maya, if you are reading this, I am gone. I know how your parents treat you. I have watched them favor Sarah your whole life. I have watched them ignore your brilliance and your kindness. I cannot change them, but I can protect you. Your father believes he inherited this house when I died. He believes the will I showed him was the final one. It was not enclosed as my last will and testament. The real one. This house, the land, and the account ending in 4590 are yours. All yours. I have set it up in a trust that activates the moment you turn 16. You turned 16 last week, didn't you? Don't let them bully you, little bird. Fly. Love, Grandma. I stopped breathing. I picked up the second document. It was a deed. A legal, stamped, official deed to the property at 42 Oak Street. The owner listed was the Maya Vance Trust. The third document was a bank statement for the trust. Balance $450,000. I stared at the number. I blinked. I rubbed my eyes. The number didn't change. My parents weren't just living in my house. They were spending my money. Grandma had left them a small allowance in the fake will. But the bulk of it, the real inheritance, was hidden here. Why had they never found it? Because they never came up here. They were too lazy. They made me get the Christmas decorations down every year. They were living like kings in Hawaii, thinking they owned the world. But they didn't even own the roof over their heads. I looked at the water dripping into the bucket. Drip, drip, drip. A slow smile spread across my face. It was the first time I had smiled in weeks. I wasn't hungry anymore. I was angry, and I was rich. The next morning, I didn't go to school. I walked 3 miles to the downtown bus station and took a bus to the city. I found the law firm listed on the Will Henderson and Associates. I walked into the lobby wearing my worn-out sneakers and my hoodie. The receptionist looked at me like I was selling candy bars. "Can I help you, miss?" she asked, her voice dripping with condescension. "I'm here to see Mr. Henderson," I said, clutching the envelope. "It's about the Vance estate," she laughed. "Mr. Henderson is a senior partner. He doesn't see—" "Tell him Maya is here," I interrupted. "Eleanor's granddaughter. Tell him I found the box." Her face changed. She picked up the phone. 2 minutes later, a gray-haired man in a 3-piece suit came, actually running out of the elevator. "Maya," he gasped. "My God, you look just like her." We sat in his corner office. He reviewed the documents. He checked my ID. Then he leaned back and grinned. "We've been waiting for you," he said. "Your grandmother gave strict instructions. We couldn't contact you until you reached out to us. She wanted to make sure you were ready." "I'm ready," I said. "My parents are in Hawaii. They left me with no food. They think this is their house." Mr. Henderson's smile vanished. His eyes went cold. "They left a minor alone with no provisions?" $20 in ramen, I said. He picked up his phone. "Cancel my afternoon meetings. We have work to do." We spent the next 4 hours plotting. Mr. Henderson explained that since I was 16 and legally emancipated under the terms of the trust, I had full control. "What do you want to do, Maya?" he asked. "We can evict them. We can sue them for back rent. We can report them for child neglect." I thought about Sarah sticking her tongue out. I thought about my mom snatching the chips. I thought about the moldy bread. "I don't want to report them," I said slowly. "Not yet. I want to surprise them." Mr. Henderson smirked. "I like your style." He handed me a debit card linked to the trust account. "First things first, go get some food. Real food." I went to the finest steakhouse in the city. I sat alone eating a filet mignon, and for the first time in my life, I didn't feel small. I felt like a shark. My parents were gone for another 2 weeks. That was plenty of time. I hired a locksmith. All the locks were changed. I hired a moving company. I packed up my parents' bedroom, their tacky furniture, their clothes, their prized possessions, and put it all in a storage unit. I packed up Sarah's room. All those trophies she rubbed in my face, boxed. Then I went shopping. I bought a new bed. I bought a massive TV. I bought a fridge full of food that I liked. But the masterstroke was the security system. I installed cameras everywhere. The driveway, the porch, the living room. I wanted to see their faces in 4K resolution. On the day they were scheduled to return, the house looked different. The lawn was mowed. The windows were clean. And on the front door, taped right at eye level, was a large legal envelope. Inside was a letter from Mr. Henderson. It wasn't an eviction notice. Not exactly. It was a notice of trespass. I sat in the living room eating a bowl of fresh strawberries, watching the driveway monitor. It was 2 p.m. The Uber pulled up. They were tan. They were laughing. They were loaded down with souvenirs. Sarah was wearing a grass skirt. "Home sweet home," my dad announced, marching up the walkway. He reached for the doorknob. He tried to turn it. Locked. He frowned. He fumbled for his keys. He slid his key in. It didn't turn. What the hell? He muttered. He jiggled it. Maya, open the door. I didn't move. I just watched the screen. Maya, my mom screamed. I know you're in there. Open this door right now or you are grounded for a year. Sarah kicked the door. Open up, loser. I need to pee. That's when Dad saw the envelope. He ripped it off the door. What is this, a joke? He zore it open. He started reading. I zoomed in on the camera. I watched his face go from red to white to a shade of gray I had never seen before. Honey? Mom asked. What is it? Dad dropped the paper. It says we're trespassing. Trespassing? Mom laughed. It's our house. It says, Dad swallowed hard. It says the house belongs to the Maya Vance Trust and that we are barred from entry. Maya? Mom screeched. Maya doesn't own anything. She owns ramen noodles. She pounded on the door. Maya, this isn't funny. Open up. I picked up the intercom handset. I pressed the button. Hello? My voice boomed out of the porch speaker. They jumped. Maya, Mom yelled at the camera. Open this door. Where is our furniture? Why is my key not working? You don't live here anymore, I said calmly. And you're trespassing. I've already called the police. They should be there in about 2 minutes. Police? Sarah laughed. You're crazy. Dad, break the window. Don't. Dad grabbed her arm. He was shaking. He knew. He had seen the law firm's letterhead. He knew Mr. Henderson. Sarah, stop. Raymond, do something. Mom shrieked. She's stolen our house. It was never your house, Mom, I said into the mic. Grandma left it to me. And since you guys left me to starve for a month, I decided to move in early. Your stuff is in storage unit B at the U-Haul place across town. I paid for the first month. After that, good luck. Sirens wailed in the distance. Dad looked at the camera. His tan face was pale. Maya, please, we can talk about this. We're your family. Family? I asked. Family doesn't leave their kid with expired bread. Family doesn't mock them for being hungry. Enjoy the police, Dad. I hear they have great donuts. I turned off the intercom. The police didn't arrest them, but they did make them leave. Mr. Henderson had faxed the deed to the local precinct that morning. The officers told my dad that this was a civil matter, but since I was the legal owner and they were not on the lease, they had to vacate the premises. Watching Sarah try to drag her giant pink suitcase back down the driveway while screaming at a cop was the single greatest moment of my life. They went to a cheap motel. I know this because Sarah posted about it on TikTok, crying about how her psycho sister ruined her life. The comments didn't go the way she planned. Wait, your parents left a 16-year-old alone for a month with no food? And she owns the house? LMAO, that's boss moves. You guys sound toxic. Team Maya. Sarah deleted the video an hour later. 2 days later, my parents requested a sit-down. They brought a lawyer, a cheap strip mall guy who looked like he slept in his car. I brought Mr. Henderson. We met in our dining room. My dining room. Look, my dad started, trying to use his fatherly authority voice. This has all been a big misunderstanding. Grandma Eleanor was confused. We are your parents. We should control the assets. Mr. Henderson slid a paper across the table. This is a record of the $450,000 in the trust, or what should be there. We noticed you tried to access it 3 years ago, Raymond. Grandma blocked you. Dad shrank in his chair. Maya, Mom tried the emotional angle. She reached for my hand. I pulled it away. Sweetie, we love you. We just went on vacation to reconnect. We were going to take you next year. We can all live here together. We can be a happy family. Sarah misses you. Sarah called me a loser 4 weeks ago, I said. And you guys didn't leave me food. You left me 20 for a month. We were teaching you independence. Mom argued. Well, I learned, I smiled. I'm independent now, and I don't want roommates. Mr. Henderson laid out the terms. They had zero claim to the house. They had to repay the $5,000 they had borrowed from my college fund over the years. If they contacted me again without permission, we would file for criminal neglect charges. They signed. They had no choice. They had no choice. They were broke. They had spent their savings on the Hawaii trip, banking on Grandma's inheritance to bail them out eventually. It's been 6 months. My parents are renting a 2-bedroom apartment on the bad side of town. Dad had to get a second job delivery driving to pay the bills. Mom actually has to clean her own house now. Sarah had to transfer to a different school because we lived in a different district. She lost her spot as cheer captain. I heard she's actually working at the Dairy Queen on weekends. As for me, I finished high school early. I'm starting college in the fall, paid for by the trust. I kept the house. I rent out the 2 spare bedrooms to traveling nurses. They're nice. They pay rent on time, and they never call me a loser. Sometimes, when I'm eating a steak dinner in my clean, quiet kitchen, I think about that pack of chicken ramen. I kept one packet. I framed it. It hangs in the hallway right next to the front door. A reminder, never let them starve you. And never, ever let them know what you're really worth until it's too late for them to stop you. Grandma Eleanor was right. The best revenge isn't screaming. It's locking the door and living your best life while they stand in the rain.